In this video I show you how to install the LAMP server in the OpenSUSE 11.4 operating system. To begin with, I'm going to open up the terminal and I'm going to go ahead and type in SU to switch over to the root user. So I'll go ahead and type in SU and then the password for the root user. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the YAST2 application to actually install this. So I'm going to go ahead now and type in YAST2 space dash dash install space, and the package is going to be called patterns dash OpenSUSE dash lamp underscore server. Now notice that the SUSE is a capital S, US, and E. That is important. You need to have, this is case sensitive, so you need to have those on there. So I'll go ahead and hit enter. And it's going to go ahead and bring up the YAST2 application. It's going to get the information that I need and how many packages actually I'm going to install, which is about 27 of them. So you can see this will load up here in a second, and there it is. 27 packages is what I'm going to need to install for this package to be set up. So we'll let this install. Now that we've got our software installed, we're going to go ahead and start the Apache web server. So I'll first type in /etc/net.d/Apache2 space and then the start command. And this is going to go ahead and start our web server for us. We can test that here quickly by opening up Firefox. And once it opens up, type in localhost. Hit enter and you'll see it works, which means our web server is currently working. So I'll close that. That's the Apache part of it. Now we've got the MySQL database or MySQL database that we need to set up as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start that by typing in /etc/net.d/MySQL space and then the start command. And this is going to go ahead and start the database for us. And once you see the prompt load back up, we're going to go ahead and type in MySQL underscore secure underscore installation to actually install our accounts and so forth. And it says enter the password for the root user. Right now we don't have one, so all I'm going to do is hit enter. And now we can choose to set one, which I want to do, so I'll hit Y and hit enter, and we'll type in a password and hit enter and retype in that password. So this is the root user, and we've got a password now for the databases. So now it says remove anonymous users. I'm going to go ahead and hit Y on that one and disallow root login remotely. I'm going to choose Y, but that's up to you if you want to change that. So I'll hit Y and hit enter and remove test database and access to it. I'll go ahead and hit Y again and reload privileges tables. Now we're going to go ahead and hit Y again. So I've chosen yes for all of my options, and now the database has been set up and configured for us to use. So that's the MySQL part of it. Now we're going to deal with the PHP, which is already set up and configured, but I want to test it. So I'll show you how to test it. I'm going to reopen up the terminal, and this time I'm going to open up our file browser, which is going to be, I'll use Dolphin here, and open it up as a root user. That way I have the privileges to modify things. So the application or the program I want to run is KDE SU space Dolphin, and so this is going to allow me to run Dolphin with the root privileges. And I'll need to type in the password for my root user. And now you'll see that Dolphin has been opened up, and I do have root privileges now. So I'll click on the root folder for our root directory of our operating system, our file system. I'm going to click on the services folder, which is this SRV folder, and the www folder, and the htdocs. And this is where the index is. This is our default web page of our web server Apache. I want to add one more file in here. I'm going to create new, and I'll create a text file, and I'm going to call it info.php. This is just going to be an information file. It's going to have some PHP code in there. Now I'll right click on this file, and I'm going to go ahead and choose open with kwrite. And we're going to go ahead and write our PHP code. Very simple code. I'll start it right here. I'll go ahead and type in PHP info function, and I'm going to have to close this out. There we go. So now we'll just hit save and close this. And now I've got a PHP file in here called info.php. Now let's just go ahead and make sure that this works as well. Open up Firefox one more time. And this time, instead of typing in localhost, I'm going to go ahead and type in localhost again, but I'm also going to put after the / here info.php and hit enter, and it should bring up my PHP file. And the file's not loading, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take a quick look here, and my guess is this is my code. I'm going to right click, choose open with kwrite one more time, and I got a little sloppy with my code. I'll put PHP there in front. There we go. And hit save. And I'll close this. And now I'll reload this page. And there it is. So there's my PHP information. So the PHP is also working as well. I'm going to go ahead and close this now. I'll close that. One last thing that I want to do before we leave here is start. Basically set up so Apache starts every time our computer turns on. So I'm going to go ahead and type in chk config space Apache2 space on and hit enter. Oh, I've got to do this as a root user, so let's go ahead and switch over su, and we'll do it one more time. chk config space Apache2 on, and this will help make sure that our Apache starts when our computer starts up. And that's the conclusion of installing and configuring the LAMP server within OpenSUSE 11.4.